Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie will likely have been left devastated by the latest revelations surrounding their parents, experts have revealed, as a question mark hangs over the future of their public lives. This week, the sisters' mother Sarah Ferguson was dropped by 7 charities after a leaked email revealed by the Mail on Sunday showed her apologizing to the late pedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein, despite publicly disavowing him. Prince Andrew has already been forced to relinquish all his public duties and offices as a result of his association with Epstein and is barred from attending official royal events. Speaking to the Daily Mail, royal experts have told how the coming months will be deeply painful for the former couple's daughters Beatrice, 37, and Eugenie, 35, who are known to be very close with their mother, the Duchess of York. The sisters, despite not being working royals, have HRH titles and are 9th and 12th in line to the throne respectively. They have public patronages and projects they are passionate about. For Beatrice, this includes dyslexia, while Eugenie is committed to ending modern slavery. Speaking to the Daily Mail, royal expert Richard Fitzwilliams affirmed that while their current projects are unlikely to be affected by their parents' now toxic brand, the princess's public future is much more unclear. Richard explained that Beatrice and Eugenie's personal closeness to their parents may mean they are not involved at least for a period, probably a considerable period, in new charitable projects. He said, "When a brand becomes toxic, its effect obviously spreads to public figures who are attached to it. They are well established as a duo with constructive reach, and for this reason I doubt that any of their current projects will be affected by the toxicity which has affected the York brand." I am, of course, assuming that no embarrassing information comes to light which involves them personally. The Duchess of York's disgrace is huge news, however, and likely to cause them both enormous personal hurt. The Yorks have always been a close-knit family. However, their closeness to their parents is likely to mean that they are not involved, at least for a period, probably a considerable period, in new charitable projects. This will be a deeply painful period for the sisters as their parents are both likely to languish in public disgrace and foreseeably so. Though they do not carry out official duties, the sisters have previously stepped up to the royal fold in an unofficial capacity, such as joining William and Kate to host the first garden party of the year at Buckingham Palace. Days later, the King's Foundation announced Eugenie would be a mentor for its new 35 Under 35 network. In May, Princess Beatrice joined King Charles and Camilla at Kew Gardens for an official event, and is one of 7 counselors of state, who undertake official duties on behalf of the king if he is unable to do so. The sisters both have their own careers. Beatrice is vice president at U.S. tech company Affinity, while Eugenie is an art director at Gallery Hauser Wirth. In terms of patronages and projects, Beatrice is patron of organizations such as the Helen Arkell Dyslexia Charity, while Eugenie fronts the Royal National Orthopedic Hospital Charity and is the co-founder of the Anti-Slavery Collective. Both are mothers to young children. Beatrice and husband Eduardo Mapelli Mazzi welcomed baby daughter Athena back in January, a sister to daughter Sienna and her stepson Wolfie. Eugenie and Jack Brookbank have sons August, 4, and Ernest, 2. However, royal author Phil Dampier suggested that any hope of the princesses one day playing a greater role in King Charles' slimmed-down monarchy could now be called into question. He said, "I also believe they would do more for the royal family if the king asked them, but that is probably a non-starter now that both the Duke and Duchess of York are in the doghouse." However, he said that the sisters' good reputation, with their own careers and families, will stand them in good stead to avoid the consequences of their parents' actions. Bea and Eugenie will obviously be devastated by what has happened to their parents, but they are old enough and now wise enough to know the truth, Phil told the Daily Mail. The late Queen always said that whatever her faults, Sarah Ferguson was a good mother, and her daughters are a testament to that. They are both now happily married mothers and they do good work for their own charities. Bea and Eugenie have carved out their own careers and come across as popular and well-balanced individuals. The York sisters have not been seen in public with their father for several years, but have remained close with their mother Fergie, for example, making a joint visit to the Teenage Cancer Trust at University College Hospital in London together in April. Eugenie also shared a snap of her mother to celebrate International Women's Day in April, and a gushing post for her birthday last October. "Happy birthday to my beautiful mama," she said at the time. "So proud of the granny you are, the mum you are, and the woman you are. You're an inspiration and our endless chats bring me so much happiness and incredible support." Phil commented, "It must hurt them deeply to see how low their parents have sunk, but they are still doting grandparents and that will continue." Fergie always used to call herself and her daughters the tripod, implying they are inseparable. "I am not sure that's still true, but they will remain loyal behind the scenes." Richard Fitzwilliams added that there is still more to come, which will bring greater clarity to Beatrice and Eugenie's futures. He said, "It is obvious that Sarah Ferguson is joining her ex-husband in disgrace, as the email just released shows her groveling to the then-convicted sex offender Epstein, who had helped her pay off her debts and whom she had sworn, in a public apology, to break all contact with." However, as the author of entitled, "A Biography of the Yorks," Andrew Lowney, makes clear in today's Daily Mail, there may be more to come, much more. This would be cataclysmic for Sarah Ferguson and the posthumous memoir of Virginia Giuffre, who sued Andrew for sexually abusing her, which he strongly denies, is due next month. Andrew Lowney's biography of the family, entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York, released earlier this year, also implied that there could be a closer link between the sisters and their father than has previously been thought. Lowney alleged that Libyan businessman Tarek Kaitouni gifted Princess Beatrice an £18,000 diamond necklace at her 21st birthday party and boasted that he could influence when it came to commercial products. According to his girlfriend, Muna Hamrouni, Andrew had tried to broker a consultancy job for Kaitouni. It comes after the Duchess of York was dropped by 7 charities including the Teenage Cancer Trust and British Heart Foundation after new revelations about her contact with Epstein.